In the last episode, we were camping in the Seneca Rocks area of West Virginia. We went to this swimming hole that we found out about just underneath the Seneca Rocks. And then we spent some time at the Spruce Knob Recreation Area. We did the Whispering Pines Trail, and then we headed down and found this Spruce Knob Lake and took a really nice walk around that area. But then the next day, it was time to pack up the Scamp. We were leaving West Virginia for the last part of our trip, heading up through Pennsylvania to Amish Country. And we had heard about this campground that had very good ratings called Starlite Camping Resort. And it's usually not our style to stay at a resort, but we figured it would be really nice to experience full hookups for the first time on our last night of camping before we headed home and got ready to go back to work. I booked the site at Starlight Camping Resort about a week ahead. It was right before we left for the trip, and you had to call and make reservations by phone, so they're a little bit old school, but it's a family-owned resort, and it had really good reviews. And they gave us this great spot. We were number 140 on the Middle Plateau, and you can see we were the only RV in that row, which was pretty nice. Once it got dark, we actually got to see why this campground is so special, because you have this view down over Lancaster and you can see all the lights from the town, but then you can also see this big open area of sky and beautiful stars. Last night, when we were sitting by the campfire, I found this painted rock, and I wasn't quite sure what it was, so I had to look this up. But apparently, people paint rocks with different sayings or pictures on them, and then leave them places, and you can put clues online as to where you can find certain rocks, and it's a little bit of an activity that some people like to do, but this rock was obviously created for somebody who had a life that was much too short.
So I'm just clearing out the Scamp. Did the black water already. Same principle as even as the gray water. What's cool is this is obviously the city water coming in fresh, blue, so you can drink that. But you should also get this orange one so you can clear out black tanks. It's important, because then you can get even the black and gray. You can get a valve, a splitter on the other end, so you can use both, which is important. You can control the pressure going in. And there's another nozzle on this end. All you have to do is open it up, clears it out. But you can close that so it backs up. And you'll know it's backing up, obviously, because it's clear. Some people don't know that or use that, the clear function, but this part is big, huge. I think it's like $25 on Amazon. It's Camco probably. Just make sure you open up the valve to the actual unit itself, because if you don't, I just figured this out, it'll build up pressure and it could crack it. So luckily I caught it in time, but rookie mistake. But yeah, so now I'm just clearing it out, let it back up, let it agitate itself. I already did it, so it's already pretty clear, but you'll see a bunch of gunk in there, and once it's cleared out, then you're good. And you might want to get a pressure regulator for the water coming in from the spigot, so you don't blow out your lines, so I heard. And also the power surge protector is a good idea. And I know the circuits are good, and its surge protection is on because of the blue. So, and that's a 30 amp service. But if I had to, I have all hookups, dog bones to go up to 50 down to an extension cord, which powers our unit. And that's it. And then just go a little bit more. Close it. Open up the Camco one. So it pours out. And I could tighten that valve here. I knew that was pretty
A little drippy.
Yeah, it's gonna be faulty, but it sucks. I just gotta fix that. But it's all fresh or gray water, so who cares?
I think it was a good idea what you said for the last day of our trip to do a full hookup site.
Yeah.
Because this was actually the first time we've ever had full hookups, but for the last day of the trip, it's really good to just flush everything out more easily than you can at a regular dump station.
Oh yeah, and then people are backing up, waiting for you, and you're like trying to rush, you're forgetting stuff. This, you just take your time, you have everything here. And this is almost the equivalent of when we go backpacking. I've had the last night stay at a room, the hotel room.
Yeah, so we can repack everything.
So you can repack, take your time, you have water, you can light everything. Instead of rushing, take your time.
Emotionally prepare yourself for vacation being over.
Yeah, kind of, a little bit. Clean up the inside, because you can use as much fresh water as you want, and no tanks because you're dumping already.
Yeah, and this will make it easier when we go home because we don't have, ready access to the sewer hookup, so we can't really flush our tanks at home, so it's kind of necessary.
Yep, that's right.
Once we had the Scamp all packed up and ready to go, we headed into Lancaster, and this is an awesome place to drive around. There are some of the most beautiful farms and really cute little towns with tons of stores and shops, but the one place that I have to stop at anytime we're in Lancaster is the Kitchen Kettle Village. And this is a little bit of a tourist trap because there's buses and things that go there on tours, but it's worth it because there are these goats that are right across in the parking lot that you can feed, and they're just so much fun to watch. Moving around in Lancaster with an RV or a trailer can be a little bit tricky, but we knew if we went toward the back we would at least be able to find some bus or RV parking.
Hello, goat. Hello. Oh, we got a whole gang.
Oh.
You speak their language?
Mo? Mo?
Those are
on the higher plate.
I climb things.
I climb it.
Those are really tiny goats over there.
They added all this.
Yeah, it's definitely fancier than the last time. All right, let's get some food. They know. What are you doing?
A little bit.
I didn't even get it yet. They know that sound. He's gonna try and reach around and get it.
How do you hold your hand out or something?
Yeah, sure. Hopefully they don't take a finger.
All got names.
Do they? Oh, they do have names. Oh, I see. That's pretty neat.
Adventure.
We're tiny. We're tiny goat. Whoa, whoa. Be nice. Climb.
They're goats, they're not nice.
They're really not. Well, these two are twins. Born in July. They're babies. It goes through the gate. Hello.
We washed our hands really well, and then we walked over to the Kitchen Kettle to get some Amish pretzels, which were awesome. And then we went across the street to Stoltz Foots to get some sandwiches, and we picked up a bunch of food to go home with us so that we wouldn't have to go food shopping before work.
Got your bounty at the market. So, return.
Don't let a Patrick loose in an Amish market.
Then we turn the gas on, and you can put stuff in the refrigerator. Pretty cool.
Chicken pot pie. Sorry. Yeah, make sure the door's closed. It's crazy, we just did our shopping for the week.
Yeah. That's right, we're here. Might as well.
Yeah.
We're just gonna get vegetables.
Oh yeah, we didn't get vegetables.
I think it's
It's all meat and cheese.
Yeah.
Alright, home. Let's go get Monkey.
With our refrigerator full, we got back on the road and headed through Lancaster back toward New Jersey. And on the way, we very unexpectedly found this covered bridge, and we were slightly concerned if we were going to fit, but we made it, and it was pretty cool. We got to take the Scamp through one of Lancaster's famous covered bridges. Then we headed back across to New Jersey and to our very important destination to go and pick up Redford from Patrick's parents' house. And just like that, we were home and our trip was over.
Hey, Red.
Turn the water back on.
During the trip, I kept a detailed list of what we spent to prepare for the trip, what we spent each night on campgrounds, and just our general day-to-day spending on food and firewood and things like that. So this gives you an idea of what kind of budget you could have for this sort of trip, and you could definitely have cut some corners and saved some money here and there. But this just gives you an idea of what kind of financial investment you would have for a 9-day trip. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you come along for our future adventures.